there's a curiosity in general about history. Look, we're living in a post-globalization kind of world, right?
Yeah.
Everything we took for
It's
granted.
very hard to define what world we're living in now,
That's
but
true.
yes, let's
But
call it
when you and I were
post-globalization.
growing up
Yeah.
in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was still this romance around globalization. It was almost as if this is the order of the world now, and we can take it for granted. And a lot of
Right.
that is falling apart. Nationalism is growing in people in many countries. Nativism is growing in many countries. A lot of younger people really are asking questions about where are we from, what does our identity represent, what does our culture represent, etc. So there is a genuine and I think a healthy curiosity about history, which is why I've noticed that a lot of young people are in fact reading. There is this constant lament that, oh, young people aren't reading anymore, etc.
Hmm.
The literature festivals I've spoken at in India sort of belie this claim, because I've seen heaps and heaps and heaps of young people there. At the Bangalore Literature Festival last December, I remember my session was for 45 minutes, but I was signing books for 90 minutes afterwards. A long
Hmm.
queue, and the majority of the people who had gathered for these signatures with my book were young people. It wasn't
Hmm.
older people. There were enough older people, but predominantly it was young people. And I make it a point to ask people what they do. And it's interesting, it's not as if they all come from the humanities. There are people who are starting to be nurses, there are engineers, there are doctors. The other day at an event in London, there was an astrophysicist. There were architects. There were people who come from a whole spectrum of society, which clearly shows that people are interested. You just need to
Hmm.
make an effort to reach out to them. And I think when somebody also, and of course, you have to make it attractive to them also. If I wrote a very dull history textbook, it's very likely they wouldn't be picking it up. But it's because I
Hmm.
also make the effort to invest in storytelling and to make it accessible, to make it simple without making it simplistic. That I
Hmm.
think is something of a winning formula, perhaps, in wooing readers and keeping the loyalty of your readers for your subsequent works.